The broadcast is
Evening, everybody. Thanks very much for coming in. I have got a wee bit of coffee night, folks, so I might cough all during the live, but never mind. So, welcome to our chat with Nadine and Sam from Sundown Paranormal. Thanks for coming in, guys. Hope you're keeping good. How are you both?
Well, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm great.
Nervous.
Thank you.
Did you say you're nervous?
Yeah, a little bit.
Are you nervous? Actually, that's my partner, and Gail, she's on her team as well. So, are you nervous?
I've never done anything like this before, so.
Oh, you never done it? Right, well, all we ask is your bank details and your PIN number. That's the only information we ask for.
Your mother's maiden name and your favourite dog, your favourite pet name.
Yeah, that's
they make you your first car. That's the usual one. What was the make and model of your first car? What about you, Sam? You nervous or whatever?
I'm not too bad, actually.
Hello.
Hello,
Laura.
Laura, she's part of her team, and Julian says to try and relax, Nadine. Nothing to be nervous about, dog. We're Scottish. You can't get any more chilled than us, and we really don't give a toss,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It is what it is.
Exactly, buddy. Exactly. It is what it is, So, but I didn't know this was your first live, so I'm quite glad that you chose us to do your first live with. You know what I mean?
Very honoured.
So, Gail, she knows how you feel. She hates lives as well. Don't worry, Gail, you'll be back up in lives. Don't worry. Gail joined. We actually met Gail and her husband on holiday in July, and they joined us about a month or so after it. So, how did ladies first? How did it all start for you? The paranormal.
Shall I go first, Sam?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always had the paranormal around me. Like as a child, I'd see like shadow figures stood in my room, and they seem to have followed me all my life. It doesn't matter where I move to, I see them, but it's not all the time. It's like I will see one, and then for months or years, I won't see anything. Then all of a sudden, I see them again. When I was little, I used to always have something feel. I used to feel something tickling my feet. I mean, I must have spent the first 16 years of my life with my feet curled up when I tried to sleep because something would tickle my feet, and I hated it. We just, and then obviously as you get older and you start to think about it, you're like, what actually is going on here? And then, I mean, I've told the story on one of our pages about a hotel I was staying in when I had to live there for 8 weeks when I was homeless. And the stuff that happened in that hotel is just undeniably paranormal. And something very dark in that room. It's a long story. I won't say it unless you want me to tell you the story, but I will if you want.
Well, feel free though. Tell us the story. That's what we're here for.
Well, what had happened is me and my daughter had moved back from Denmark, and we were homeless, so we stayed in a hotel. The council put us in a hotel for 8 weeks. Well, bed and breakfast. And I was staying in this room, and it started with like just little things. Like Sam came over one day, and the kettle turned itself on randomly. And we're like, And then my daughter she was only 6 at the time. She'd sit in the room talking to something that wasn't there. And then it gradually felt like darker and darker as it went on. And to the point where I couldn't sleep. I couldn't turn my back to the door, and I couldn't sleep because I just felt like something was watching me. And then one night I got so tired, I saw this big black mass at the end of at the side of my bed, right next to me. The only way I can describe it is I can't really. It didn't have any definite shape. It was like it was all translucent, but it's honestly I can't even describe what it looked like. It was black. And I was so tired, I just turned over, I said, I'm going to sleep, and it jumped on top of me. I fell out the other side of the bed and it was gone. So I spoke to I became friends with the owner's wife of the hotel, and I spoke to her about and stuff. Well, they moved me to a different room, And for the next 2 weeks when I was in that room, I was in that room for 6 weeks. And I was in the next room for 2 weeks. Nothing happened. But I know for a fact what happened in that room. It'd feel like on a night I'd feel things climbing into bed with me, and like it honestly felt like something was hugging me in bed. It was so strange. And then from then we just we never really bothered with anything. Then last year for Sam's birthday, we thought, oh, what should we do? You know, it's lockdown. Oh, we'll go visit an abbey. So we went, and I was like, there's this abbey, it's really dark. You could just feel it as soon as you go in, it's just so dark. So we thought, oh, we'll take some cameras and, you know, see what we can get. And that's how we started, basically. That's my story anyway. I've probably sugarcoated all of that, just skipped right over it all, but yeah. So.
But did you see that particular, obviously whatever it was attached to that. Did you ever find out if there was any history to that particular room?
No, I did ask the guy who worked there, and he was like, oh yeah, it's built on a graveyard. I was like, I think he was just taking the piss, to be honest. Taking the mick, to be honest. He didn't believe me. So no, I haven't actually looked into anything. I probably should. I'd love to go back there. I'd love to book that room.
Mm-hmm. You think you're a lot braver now than you were before?
Yeah, definitely. Do you know, we've noticed like even the last year, like if you'd said to me a year and a half ago, you'd be going in dark rooms with like nobody there and doing, I'd have said absolutely not. I'm terrified of the dark. But I think as you go along, you become more in tune with the environment, and you know when you're under threat, and you know when you're hi Kathy, you know when you're under threat, and you know what the energies are in the specific place, so you know whether to be on your guard or not. And I think you do learn that, I've noticed, as you go along. Like when you first start, you're terrified of everything, like your adrenaline's going and you're like scared of the slightest noise, you know, a squirrel will run past you, you're like, it's a ghost, you know. But then, you know, as you come along, you just, what's the word I'm looking for? You become desensitized. Yeah, desensitized to what's not paranormal and more in tune with what is.
Well, that's it. Usually, Gail was the same. Gail's in her team, and before she came out with us, she just watched a lot of ghost shows. Not happy with ghost shows. I watched some of them as well. But, you know, in ghost shows, it's all it's crammed into like 40, 45 minutes, you know, and they always get activity, and 50% of the time it's always demonic, and, you know, all the usual toys and whistles. And that's with Gail, her husband Reese as well. He's been out with us. And this is totally different for when you watch on TV to when you come out, you know. Yeah. And I think the more you go, the more you get, you become accustomed to it, and you learn to differentiate. That's a big word, differentiate. I can't say it again. That word I just said. Between, as you say, a squirrel and something totally different. Laura's put up a comment. All you need is big girl pants because everything scares you, even laser grids. That's Laura. She's in our team, but she's also a good friend of ours. And we were out one night, and I had the laser grid with me. And 3 times I put the laser grid on, and you wanted to see her jump. I ended up I had to give her a warning before I press it, before I put it on, because it scares her every single time. And it's only green dots, but so now she needs a 30-second warning before I put the laser grid on, so she can kind of be set for it. But you do become more accustomed to it, so you learn to tell a difference between a squirrel or branch breaking or something paranormal. What were you saying? Sorry, Doll, when you go.
You just feel the difference in the air and the environment when there's something there and when there's not something there.
Aye. A lot of people don't believe that you can actually feel something. But what happened to us, we went to Canongate in Edinburgh one night. Nothing freaks me out. I'll get into the darkest tunnel, what have you. But this is one particular night, we got the car and we were just getting into the gate, and it was just a heavy kind of you're not wanted feeling.
Yeah.
For the place, Sarah, she jumped back in the car, but I ended up going for a walkabout. But you could feel that you weren't wanted there. Definitely, the more I go, the braver I seem to get from how I was from my first till now. I've done. She has done really, really well. From which day one to now. Hi, Chantel, thanks for coming in, Doc. So, Sam, what about you? How did you get involved in the whole paranormal?
It started when I was about 5. I had a strange experience. I've never forgot it. And I was laid in my bed one night, and all of a sudden I seen like 3. I think they're witches, but I can't tell you exactly what they were. There was 3 figures come in my room, and all of a sudden I couldn't breathe. There was a big weight on my chest. You know, one of them started saying, chanting. I don't even know what they were saying. You know, but there was 2, one on either side as well, just going like this. You know, and I didn't know what was going on. But after all that happened, I couldn't scream. I couldn't shout. I couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, once they all sort of disappeared, I got my voice come back and everything. But afterwards, I started to hear things, and my hearing got really, really sensitive. You know, I could hear footsteps. I could hear things. I could go out, and I felt like I was being followed at times. You know, and things like that. And obviously, as a child, I didn't know what it was. You know, like I'd laugh for sometimes, like my mum used to say, "What you laughing for?" and stuff like, you know, I could see certain things at times. But then it just felt there was always something, you know, but I couldn't understand what. But as I got older, my granddad passed away, and I tried to search him as a teenager about this time. You know, as a teenager about then, and I got into it then and started, you know, practicing things and then, you know, realizing what's out there.
Yeah,
you know,
dabbling stuff you shouldn't.
Well, yeah, as a teenager.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to dabble
No,
then.
no, I'm not going to go into that. But I started to realize things are real. There is real things out there, you know. And then it was, obviously I went through that and I stopped things for a while, you know, and one day, you know, we're, like Nadine says, we're locked down. You know, we just one day decided, do you fancy doing it? You know, do you fancy actually going out there together? We'll get a camera. We only started with a camera. Didn't know it was a camera, and
it wasn't even a night vision camera. It was just,
no.
And then we're like, well, the quality on this is rubbish in the dark, isn't it? Yeah. We didn't have a clue. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't.
We had like a torch and a camera.
Yeah, let's just go, a torch and a camera. We're off.
But that's, you know, that's what happens. I mean, the first time we went, I think we didn't have much more than that either. You know, we got a camera on the internet and maybe a couple of torches and away we went.
Yeah.
You know, I think our first few investigations we never, I think we get anything. But that's how some people, you know, you get these teams, no harm in them, but they go with every gadget under the sun. You know, they're spending about $3,000 in Amazon or something, and they've got, you know, it's like S Commandos, all the stuff they've got, and they don't pick up on anything. And then you've got, you know, just a wee guy with a camera and a torch goes out and he could get a load of activity. It's,
I mean, it was like us, didn't we? When we went out with a night vision camera, and we caught a voice, didn't we, on the microphone of the camera. I think that was about the second or third time, and that was without any EVP equipment or nothing. No, it was just
on
pure
the microphone.
Yeah.
It says "Help my soul," and it's clear as day.
I've seen that one. I listened to that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Help My Soul.
Yeah, it's clear as day, isn't it? It's just, and it was caught on two cameras, not just one. Like we said, our first actual investigation, we went to. Hi, Julian.
Hi, Julian.
We went to Warren Percy, which is an old medieval village, and 700 people, 700 bodies were found there, dismembered and heads chopped off, and it's on one of the plaques, so it is true. It's not just like folklore. We were there like after dark. We managed to stay for 2 hours before we chickened it and left, and that was our first proper investigation. So yeah, you do definitely become more like desensitized to it all, because if you'd put us in Warren Percy now, we'd last the night. You know, it wouldn't bother us. But then it was like, oh my god, it's pitch black. We can't see anything. It's a 40-minute walk back to the car, and we don't know what's here. Let's just leave.
Let's go home and get the kettle on. But I mean, the more you do it, the more you become accustomed to it. The more you enjoy it, the more you realise that, as was just says, you know, it does between a squirrel, and something that could be paranormal, and it doesn't freak you out. As I would say, I don't get freaked out. I never have. Maybe I'm just thick. I don't know, but nothing seems to scare me. But people in our team, I've seen the difference in them from when we started to now. They're more braver, you know, and they pick up more now as well because they've been on, you know, X amount of investigations. But it's a learning curve, as Laura saying. It's about the walk. Mind you, Saturday night is the walk. It's a place we went to at the weekend. It was a good maybe 25-minute walk, and it was just pitch blackness, you know. So how did Sundown come about? Who made up Sundown and what have you?
Well, me. I just thought, you know, well, we've got a group of people. It was me, Kristen, and Sam originally. And I was like, well, let's just make a page. And originally it was Transcendental Realms of the Paranormal. But then you'd say to people, they'd say, what's your name? We're like, Transcendental Realms of the Paranormal. They're like, what? I was like, we're changing it.
It's too much of a mouth.
Nobody's got time to say all that, okay. But no, we thought we'll just make a YouTube channel and put what we find on the YouTube channel and make a actually made a Facebook page quite a while after, but you know, we enjoyed doing it, so I just learnt some video editing skills off of YouTube quickly and put some videos together and shared them on onto YouTube. And then we met on my Facebook page, we met Robbie Crossan, and he sent me like a message, and I answered it 6 months later because I didn't just totally new, just like what? I don't know. But I saw this message and he invited us to go to Edinburgh Vaults with him. So that was our first like proper like thingy investigation with him. And yeah, we just continued from them. We really enjoyed it. That's where we met Kathy. And we thought, yeah, just let's do it. It's fun. You know, we've got a passion for the paranormal. You know, we've got experience, and it's something we really, really enjoy doing. So why not do it?
I totally agree. Robbie, he actually just stays about a 5-minute drive for us.
Yeah.
Well, we've been out with Robbie 3 or 4 times. Here's Andy Murphy saying hello to you. Hi, Andy, buddy. Nice to meet you.
Andy.
Hello.
Andy is originally from Yorkshire, but him and his family moved to Antelope Valley, I think it's called. He'll shoot me if I get it wrong. But 2 months ago now, he moved over to America to do with his work. But we still keep in close contact. He was on our Halloween special and he's coming back in. But no, we've been out with Robbie about 3-4 times or something like that. Yeah, he's actually just about a 5-minute
we
drive.
went to Stirling with him the other month, and he's coming down this month on the 20th to do the Royal Arcade with us. When we go back to the Royal Arcade, he's coming with us.
I was talking to him about 3-4 weeks. Was this about 3-4 weeks ago he's arranged this?
Yeah, quite a while ago, yeah.
Because he video called me about a month ago and asked me if I wanted to come down with him. Keithley.
Yeah, Keithley.
That's that.
He says he's been invited down to Keithley to do a location. So is with yourselves then?
Yes.
Yes.
He asked me if I could make it down, but I don't think I could make it. I can't mind. I'll need to check back.
Just car share, you'll be fine.
I'll be safe. I will be okay.
Yes.
Well, we were down in Nottingham 2 weeks ago, filming with a team called GSI. We went down to Sherwood Forest. That was quite an experience, quite a drive. I actually get done for speeding coming back. I know it's totally unrelated to paranormal, but when I tell you the speed I was doing, you'll understand why. Seemingly coming over the A66 between Scotch Corner and Penrith, the speed limit is about 45 mile an hour. The prosecution limit is 45 mile an hour. I was doing 46, and I get prosecuted. I was 1 mile an hour over. So if I've been doing 45, there's Laura put it up. 1 mile an hour. There you go. Over the limit. Limit was 45. I was doing 46, and getting prosecuted for me. So that was nice. But I still am related to the paranormal. You know what I mean?
Just digressing a little.
I'm just off topic a wee bit. Right? So, what's been your biggest scare moment?
Oh, is that scare moment? I think I've actually been scared yet. Yet, she says.
I think there wasn't the one down at the brothel that something got thrown.
Oh yes, actually yes, that would be it.
Yeah.
When we were in the Royal Arcade, and me and Steph had went down. One of our team members, we'd went down with the camera to take pictures, and I like to have the torches off when you take pictures, so it's not, so someone's not moving the torch, and the pictures are different, like you said, because you take 2 or 3 pictures to make sure, you're catching stuff. And so I turn all the torches off. It's pitch black, and something threw a rock at us. And it landed like next to Steph's foot, and then we ran out of that. But I wouldn't say I was really scared, but it was quite like unnerving a little bit, especially with all the evidence we got there after that had happened. So yeah.
Well, what was there was a table, wasn't there, as well? That was the first time that we'd experienced that, wasn't it?
The table moving. But I can't say that actually scared us because we didn't realise it was paranormal at the time. I think if we'd all noticed that it was paranormal at the time of when the table moved, we all would have legged it out of there. But I think once you've had like a few minutes to like, was that you? Was that you? To realise it wasn't any of us, then, you've calmed down a little bit. I mean, Emma actually says in the video that, if I'd known that was paranormal, I'd have been off, kind of thing. So. What about you
do become quite accustomed to noises, and when you're in a location like in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing for miles around you, and you hear noises that you can't account for, that shouldn't be there, kind of thing. I mean, a lot of people would maybe jump and run, which is always surprised me, because you go ghost hunting. And you see it in a lot of TV programs. Again, I'm not putting them down. But you see it in a lot of TV programs, they go ghost hunting and they hear a noise and they all scream and run away. And you think, well, why are you running away? Because you went there to find ghosts in the first place. And if you find one, you're running in the opposite direction. That's just...
It's like that meme, isn't it? That everyone wants to, like, something about people... ask you to like communicate with them, but when you do, they run.
When I love going down like dark tunnels, you can't see your hand in front of your face, stuff like that. I think it's exciting because you don't know, what's at the end of that tunnel. You don't know what's going to pop out for a doorway. Things like that. I think that's a good thing with the paranormal, is you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. No. I think it definitely heightens your senses, doesn't it?
Yep. Andy's saying fight or fright, no one knows how to react. That's true, Andy. I suppose you do need to be in the situation before you can see how how you would react. So the Royal Arcade was an interesting investigation.
Yeah,
Yes.
it definitely was.
One thing I did notice, which I did like, is you debunk a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Yes. Yes.
He's saying yes. He didn't even do the video. Don't you talk?
No, but we watch the videos together though, don't we? Afterwards.
Yeah, but we do. Yeah, we do. But then, yeah, we definitely debunk it because, like we were saying earlier, that what's the point? What's the point in faking it?
Well, it's not, is there?
Mhm.
What
There's
does it
no
get
point
you?
doing it.
I mean, in the video for people watching, the door opens. A door opens seemingly by itself. Um, um, we're all together in a back room, so you know it can't have been any of us. But we put another static camera up and facing that door, actually facing down that hallway, and we noticed that someone had come in, opened the door, and ran back up the stairs, obviously trying to scare us or by accident. So, but it's debunked. We could have easily said, "Oh, look, it's paranormal. Someone's opened the door, and we're all in this room." But what is the point?
Because if you do it that way, excuse me, that's blooming cough. When you do it that way, and somebody else, rumbles you, it just wrecks your reputation. You know,
Well,
I watched it in the bit with the doorway. You can see there's like a black figure, a black shape, or somebody. I don't know if they're walking across the doorway or whatever it is they're doing, but you do see some kind of black figure there, and the door opens. But you got quite a lot of good EVPs, quite clear as well.
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'd heard the one towards the end of the spirit board session that says, Nadine, you're filth, you will die. If I actually heard that at the time, I think I probably would have never went back, I would have been well and truly scared.
What was the atmosphere in the place like? Because when I was watching it, it seemed as if I might be wrong, but it's just what I was getting. It was a kind of, if you weren't wanted kind of atmosphere by a male spirit.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. It's so like oppressive down there, like in that room specifically. It was very just heavy, like a dampness, but it's not damp, if that makes sense. Yeah, I totally agree. There's definitely some form of male spirit that didn't want us there, at least.
No, I know what you mean. It's a kind of damp feeling, but it's no damp. You just kind of sense. It's like getting into an old castle ruin or something in the middle of summer.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, even though it's no rain for days on end, whatever, you walk in and you still get that kind of damp, musky kind of feeling about the place, sort of thing. I did notice, I was watching it and it was like 24 minutes in, just when you ask if they can light the box up more, whatever, there is something comes down between the two girls.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out.
Did you have a look at that to see
Yeah,
what
I did have a look. Yeah, I saw it, but I don't know what it was.
I don't know, it could have been a bug. I know a lot of people.
It could be dust, it could be a bug, but it could be something. Honestly, I didn't notice it until you showed me it. So,
as you see, it seemed to come down and then go across the way.
Yeah.
To me, dust would just float about. A bug probably dart about, maybe. I don't know, but this seemed to come down and then go across the way. And you says it went in the direction that the table was getting moved. Is that right?
No, it's not actually. Once I'd said, because you said it was between the two girls, the table moves from between the other two girls inwards. Because the orb is
Right.
the one you're saying is on my right, and then the next right. The table moves between the girl on my left and the one opposite me, so like towards the camera that way.
Yeah, because it always be. It is always better, to be honest. And I know you guys think, but I think if you get nothing, then you say you get nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there was quite a lot of threatening EVPs towards me down there, so I don't even know why I'm going back. I mean, if what it says, kill her, I want her, kill her, hang her. It's there's lots of threats there. I can only assume that they're aimed at me because I'm the one talking to them.
You did seem to be quite unpopular.
I did, yeah. I always am. We had
Are
one
you
in
usually
sorry?
the gopher?
Yeah. We were in a graveyard the other night at Bo's Castle, and I just got really pissed off. It's on my live. Sorry, guys, I'm just liable. I just started telling it off. I was like, "You're just bullies. Why are you talking to me like this? You know, we're not here to be nasty to you or disrespectful to you. Who are you to start picking on me and trying to frighten me?" I just got a little bit angry, to be honest. But it does get really annoying because I get it all the time. I get threats all the time.
So between your
sorry.
Where you go, Sam?
We're normally quite respectful, aren't we, as well? We don't try and provoke stuff. You know, we're quite respectful in the paranormal world.
Yeah, we get a lot of evidence without provoking at all. So,
Because you get teams out there that provoke, and I'm in the frame of mind that, and I've said it many alive, that spirit is the same as us, except they don't have a physical body. Basically,
Yeah.
you know, they still get the personality, you know, everything that they had in the physical life. Excuse me. And if somebody disrespects you in the physical life, it pees you off. You know, you don't want to talk to them, you don't want to get near them. So I always imagine it would be the same in spirit. If somebody's disrespecting you.
Well, that's what it was, and I just told them outright. You know, I'm not here to be picked on. I'm not here to be bullied. You know, I've literally said to them a few times, "Look, I don't want to speak to you. If you can't be nice, just don't talk to me."
And what happened after that?
No, actually, it got really dark down there, didn't it? Like in the graveyard, it got really. And then I felt something kind of scratch my neck, and there was a red mark, but I wasn't 100% sure if it was there before or if it was there afterwards. So, you know, there's no point in documenting it. We did take photos, but I can't say 100% that, you know, I got scratched or marked because I don't know. But yeah, we left not long after that because if all we're going to get through is, it felt like a male again, a dominant male spirit that was like controlling the graveyard kind of thing. So I always ask, like, if I do start to feel a bit nervous, like for any positive spirits that are there to help and protect us. But we left because there was a fresh grave near us, and we thought, you know, this is getting a bit. We don't want to disrespect anyone, so we just left.
I mean, there is a theory, a story, whatever you want to call it. I don't know you guys, that all graveyards are guarded by a certain spirit. It's their job to look after the spirit. I'll put Laura's comment up because this happened to us as well. You talk about the rude bit. We've had a few experiences with spirits who said nothing but disrespectful to us by swearing at us, even though we've been completely respectful towards them. It happened to us a couple of months ago. We went to a Kirkyard and we were getting told to F off, F you. One of the girls got called a two-faced bitch. Basically, you know, it was quite bad, the abuse we were getting. But see, there is meant to be, every graveyard has a guardian, a keeper, whatever you, and 9 times out of 10 is meant to be a male.
Yeah, it definitely did feel like that.
That is assigned that job, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what he. Sounds like he might have been feeling threatened by you. Don't forget to call your guides and ancestors to come close and protect you.
Hello, Kathy. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Kathy's a regular visitor.
We were in Edinburgh with Kathy.
She's lovely.
We like Kathy and Jade.
We were trying to get through, because she'd asked if we could get through to me, but we were busy that weekend. But we have promised her the next time she's up this neck of the woods that we will meet up there and do roly polies and greyfriars or something like that. You know.
Yeah, we're going to go hopefully down to see her at some point, maybe next year, to do something down there.
So, I mean, Kathy says there a good spirit guides are answered. Do you feel that you've got somebody around about you that kind of looks after you?
I always ask for protection from the gods, goddesses, and spirit guides, but I don't feel like I have a spirit guide. I've never communicated with one. I've never like heard it speak to me or anything like that. So I don't think I have one. Maybe I do, but I just don't know how to communicate with it. But as from what I know, I don't.
What were you, Sam?
I mean, the thing is that, well, we got told, didn't we, the other night that I might have by the psychic, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you don't communicate with them, and you don't know.
No, I
that
don't
you
know.
got told that he had 2 people protecting him by the guy from another team we were with the other night. But he doesn't communicate with them more.
No, I don't know how to do that sort of thing.
Usually they say it's a family member or something.
It was to ancestors.
Somebody related to you going way back, or a close family member, something, like that. So I mean, the Royal Arcade. See, I've not watched all it, Nadine, because I didn't. It was one of the days where you try and watch it, and then your phone goes. You start to watch it again, the phone goes. What did the rest of the team make it?
Well, Kristen's in the chat there. She's
Steph is as well.
Kristen's really good. Is Steph there too? Unfortunately, I mean, Em's got some personal circumstances at the moment, so she probably won't be on. But I don't know. What did you guys think of it? Kristen's coming back with us in the end. This month. Steph can't make it though, but Steph loved it. I know Kristen loved it as well, but really enjoyed it.
You kind of get the bug. Just we were waiting on your to put the comment. You kind of get the bug to go investigate, and you miss it when you don't go out.
Yeah.
I was 8 months pregnant since with Asia before I tear him and over blue appears.
Steph says it's amazing. Yeah. You do definitely get the bug. I mean, we did like 3 investigations in a row last week or the week before, and I was exhausted. I couldn't do another one. We did arrange to do another one, and I just had to say, look, I'm just not feeling it. I can't. I'm exhausted from it. It really does tire me out.
Do you get that? I know after we do investigations, a lot of people call it a para hangover.
Yeah.
The next day, or the night when we came back from Nottingham, we were knackered, basically. What about you, Sam? Do you get the para hangover kind of thing?
Yeah, we did it at the Royal Arcade, didn't we? I think all of us.
Oh yeah, we were.
All of us.
4 days afterwards, we were just shattered and ill. Yeah. Like it felt like you had like kind of a bug, but it wasn't a bug. Yeah, para hangover. It is a paranormal hangover. I think they use your energy a lot, and you're using a lot of energy to communicate with them as well. I think people don't realize that as well. It just takes a lot of energy out of you to try and communicate.
Right.
Because if you go into a situation and don't put energy in, then you're not going to get the energy back.
That's it. You don't actually realize you're doing it. I know we all say in investigations use our energy, whatever, but then you get a lot of battery drain. Well, we've had a lot of battery drain, as no doubt plenty other teams have. And you always think, well, that's the spirits using that energy and no ours. Yeah. So you do.
I don't know if you got that far in the video, but in the Royal Arcade video, Kristen actually starts to feel really unwell. She just gets like drained. She just goes, "Look, I'm not feeling well. I feel like like I've got no energy." It's like her energy just went like that, and she was pretty bad for a few days after that.
I've not got that far yet. I'm going to watch the rest of it. I promise you, I'm going to watch because it's really good. We had that in our location that we done recently. There was stairs. It was like 3 floors, and as soon as you went onto the second floor, you get this kind of feeling of nausea. But as soon as you went up the next flight, you were totally fine. It was just this one particular floor. There's Steph saying I went to Jedward Jail Saturday, just gone, and after that I felt really drained 2 days after it.
Yeah.
And
we didn't go. That was Steph and Em they'd planned that like a year ago for Steph's birthday, but they had to cancel it because of lockdown. So then they went together for the weekend.
I get lockdown affected. Oh, it was really, really bad. And I remember, Andy, they done the Jewish temple earlier on in the year before they moved, obviously. And they got a lot of battery drainage. That can be annoying. Have you ever had all your batteries just...
Yeah.
Yes. And it's how quick it goes as well. It's how quickly you can just see it, you know.
We had it in the hotel, didn't we? The one where we caught the shadow figure, the photo of the shadow figure, and where it says just get out and the ball flashes on command. The battery just dropped. Like it was a brand new battery and it just gone. Yeah.
Well, didn't it when Robbie was there with his camera as well, didn't it? His camera drained quick in the hotel as well, didn't it? When he went down to do investigation with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really we done Greyfriars last year, and we've done Greyfriars at all different times, but this one particularly we plan to do at 3 a.m. You know the old 3 a.m. The witch and what have you, and with 2 batteries with us, each should be an hour and a half. There were 2 of them were full. We went out to Greyfriars, and both of them lasted 15 minutes each. And that was it. They were done. Totally done. Sarah, she was like, give up.
The only thing that you can really put that down to, I suppose, is paranormal or the cold. It depends how cold it is, because batteries don't do very well in the cold.
This was during July kind of time. So it was quite mild because we'd done a video just prior to it up at Edinburgh Castle. It was a wee bit windy, but I was walking with a t-shirt on, so it was quite mild, but the 2 batteries, and that was it. And there's nothing you can do.
No,
you're no.
That's right. I mean, we take power banks with us, don't we? We usually have power banks.
We started doing that now. We just put power banks on the cameras because
that's
then it's going to last a good few hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we do need to get. It
is worth it. It really is.
Because
don't plug your microphones in though, because your microphones won't work. Jonathan taught me that, and I didn't listen. Jonathan Emmerich in the chat, he said, "Don't plug your microphone in because it won't work." So we went to Edinburgh, and what did I do? Thinking I was clever, we plugged the microphone and the camera into the power bank. We got back home to watch the footage. 6 hours of footage from Edinburgh Vaults, not a peep of audio. I was wounded. I could have cried. I was gutted, but. We enjoyed the time. It was really good there. We met some amazing people, and it was worth the trip anyway, even though we didn't get to watch any evidence.
So you never had any video either?
Oh, we had the video, but there was no audio at all, so I can't sit through 6 hours of footage with no audio.
Because we did the vaults a few months ago, and we had, I think it was like 5 cameras we had, and none of it worked out.
Yeah.
None of it at all. And a team that we are friendly with, I was talking to one of the guys there for there, and I told him like that. He says the exact same thing happened to us in the vaults. Nothing worked out. I'm not saying it's paranormal, but it's just really, really weird to have 5 cameras.
We've had that before. We've had it where we filmed stuff. We filmed in Sam's flat. Sam's flat's haunted 100%. We've had some great evidence in Sam's flat. And 2 of the cameras, recording, the 2 in the living room, one of them just stopped recording, said, it just went, no, I'm not recording anymore. And then the other one in that room, the files were white, black. The files were there, but you couldn't read the files. and
Mm-hmm.
but the camera in a different room down the hall was fine, but both cameras in that room malfunctioned.
You
Well,
see,
one was your Canon as well, wasn't it? One was your Canon.
Yeah, one was my Canon, my proper Canon camera as well. It wasn't just one of our little night vision ones. It was my proper Canon camera, and it just went no. I don't want to record anymore.
To me, now this might sound nuts, but we Charlie and Roxon Haunted Hunts on a wee while ago, and we were talking to them about the exact same thing because we were at a location, and we always use a locked off camera. We just sit in the corner,
Yeah, we
press
do.
record,
Yeah.
and leave it. We've got a lot of activity that night, which is on our Caldwell series, which is on Patreon. But the next day, I checked the locked off camera and it ran for 6.5 minutes and then just switched off. The battery was 3/4 full and nobody touched it, but it just turned itself off. And then we thought, well, it was after round about that time, the 6-7 minute mark, that everything started happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And-
it's sucked your battery or malfunctioned, but the camera malfunctioned when things were going to kick off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's user experiences. So do you think it's possible that if a spirit doesn't want to be filmed or recorded in any way, that they can actually,
Yeah.
do their stuff? It sounds nuts,
Well, they
A
use
lot-
energy, don't they?
Yeah.
They use energy and they take energy. I'm sure they can use their energy to manipulate something. I mean, how do these spirit boxes work? How do these, portals work? These EMF detectors? How does it all work? It all works from, look at the Ovulus, for example. How on earth? I don't understand the Ovulus. I don't understand how on earth they manipulate it to make a word. So if they can manipulate that to make a word, why couldn't they manipulate a camera not to record?
Exactly. I like to get different, everybody's opinion on that because I still think that somehow a spirit managed to turn that camera off, and as you say, in that one particular room, it's happened to yourselves. I mean, if you look at the Necrophonic app as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how do they manipulate that? I mean, we've had very, as user had as well,
I
very
love the Necrophonic app. I do.
sentences through it.
So many intelligent responses through that. I mean,
Yeah.
I will hold up cards randomly in our investigation, just a pack of cards, and I'll say, "What's this card?" And we've had it tell us the card, the suit, the color, everything.
How can you explain that?
do.
I mean, it's
I'm not about fanny apps. I'm kind of your basic tech sort of thing, laser pen and cat balls. That was supposed to be my limit. I'm becoming increasingly fond of the K2 meter. We've had a lot of results for the K2 meter on command. And with the Necrophonic, I like it that much, I've even downloaded it in my phone. And that's something I would never have done before, but it's in my phone.
Well, if you look at the Royal Arcade investigation, 2 K2 meters were going off literally. They were going nuts in that room. The 2 K2 meters. The two cat balls were going off. The REM pod went off twice. The EMF detector went off in that room. There was so much activity in that room. It just all seemed to be like condensed. Whatever was there was very powerful, or there was a lot of spirits there.
Yeah, there's, as you say, there is a lot of activity. Use that capture a lot of activity with all your gadgets. I call them gadgets, going off at the same time and what have you. Kirsty made a comment earlier on, keep meaning to put it up. She's talking about a grill at the hotel that was scary.
Yeah, that was the hotel, the one where we caught the shadow figure on the photo. Before, me and Kristen were in a separate room, and a big growl came through the spirit box. And then, but moments later, I felt like something was touching my neck. And unbeknownst to me, Sam, Steph, and Em, who were in the opposite end of the hotel, had asked it to touch me or Kristen on the back of the neck. And you see me on the video going, "Did you just touch my neck?" And then a big growl came through the bloody spirit box, literally just after. And it was like, okay, guys, it just growled at me. That did scare me a little, to be honest. One of the scary
That
Like,
would,
then I got mad again. I was like, did you just growl at me? And then you'll see in the video, like the short videos that I've sent you, that I'm apologizing to it because I did get really angry. I was like, who are you growling at? You know?
it does, but I mean, I've got a couple of comments to put up just before I do, but you can understand getting angry and frustrated because, you know, as you guys know, and everybody else who investigates know, your emotions are kind of not all over the place, but you're concentrating on this, you know, finding proof and what have you. And if somebody's growling at you, you think, you know, go away, leave me alone. Because I'm trying to do this sort of thing, you know. So your emotions can.
Yeah. What annoyed me is I only asked how. I said, "How are you?" and it growled at me, and I was like, "I was only asking how you are," you know. In my head, I'm thinking, "How bloody rude."
I know there's no consideration at all.
No, they're bloody nuisances.
Andy's a fan of the Paratech app. We tried that, Andy, but I'm not going to say anything else. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
We only use Necrophonics. We've tried a few apps, but I only really use like Necrophonics. It's like the SLS cameras and stuff like that. They don't have the technology in them to map rooms out, so they don't work. You know, they will map basic figures, but they don't have the infrared, you know, grid to map in things like a proper SLS.
Yeah. Laura's saying Necrophonics be able to tell us how many people were and their names, etc. How can that be? She's right. My names came through the Necrophonic quite a few times.
Yeah.
It's also told us how many people were, you know, in the room, were at the location.
That's why when it said, Nadine, your filth, you will die, I was like, okay.
But you can't explain that, but, you know, and it's just, you know, the subject of skeptics, you know, as you were saying, you've had your dealings with skeptics in the past. You know, we don't have any logical explanation for that. How an app can tell you your name, just saying, Nadine, you're going to die. You know, we don't like you, basically. I can tell you how many people are there. I mean, the responses we have had have been unbelievable, same as yourselves. Yeah. But you'll get the skeptics who still won't believe it.
I mean, they could say, oh, well, it's recorded your name through the microphone or whatever, couldn't they? But how we didn't say, oh, well, there's 5 people in this room. How many people are in this room? You know, you can't debunk that. It's not possible. If there's 5 people in a room, we used it literally the other day in my sister's house. She doesn't know that. And it said my name twice, clear as day, because my niece wanted to see what it was. And then I said, how many people's here? And they said 5, and there was 5 of us in the house. How would it know that?
But we have got one on investigations. We have a phone that's got nothing on it apart from Necrophonics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not connected to the internet, nothing.
Yeah, the phone we use for anything on our investigations, it's not even connected to my email, Facebook, nothing. I put it on airplane mode, and then I press Necrophonics. It's got nothing, no information. It's under a false name. It hasn't got my name in it. It's not a false name. It's under the team name and stuff like that. So it can't possibly be reading information off my phone to say. We make sure of that.
So there again, how do you explain it when you get intelligent answers, you know, from it? And the poor thing is, I notice that you debunk quite a bit, which is important. And also, I think it lets people see that you are genuine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go on the subject. I know you hate, but however, no mercy on this show about the fakes.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know,
it's just like we were saying earlier, it's so important. It is important to debunk stuff. You can't just ruin the people that fake stuff or ruin it for the people that have genuine stuff, because no one believes the genuine stuff because of the fake stuff.
Aye, exactly. What's your take on the fake, Sam?
It's like what Nadine says there, you know, like you work hard to go out to get evidence, and then you get people out there that will make out things and you know fake pictures and it makes it harder for us to say, look, this is what we caught, and then you get so many people that are like, oh yeah, whatever, you know, and it's you've
But
actually got.
also, sorry,
Yeah, go on.
also with the fake stuff, you'll see it's got like thousands of views, and then you've got a genuine piece of evidence there, and it's got 45 views, and you're like, how is this even possible? Who is believing this? Who is sharing that? Oh yeah, that bed sheet running past, that was a ghost. That was really, was it really? I don't know.
But I totally agree. You get all these things that you can tell that you know they're so fake. And I'll probably get shot down for this, but you know I have said some things on lies that we can be shot down. But you need to be honest. You get things that are so fake and people believe it, and as you say, Nadine, people are sitting there believing this, and then you get a genuine photograph.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it could be a black shadow. I mean, we've got a few photographs that people are trying to debunk the canny, and nobody wants to see it.
Yeah, that's right. You get genuine stuff, and it's like they just don't believe it, do they?
No.
Because of all these pictures that other people put up that's fake. You know, it's.
I think everybody. To me, would you think? To me, there's too many people out there that just want to jump on the paranormal wagon as soon as they get a photograph. It's paranormal.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, I love the ones where it's a tree, a bush in the background. They're like, oh my god, look, there's faces there, and there's a face there, and no, it's a bush.
Or it's
There's no
pareidolia.
face, it's pareidolia. Yeah, it is pareidolia. What are you on about? There's no bloody face there. You get it all the time on paranormal sites and stuff like that. Or lens flare. There's another good one. Lens flare. It's like, oh yeah, look at this. No, it's lens flare.
I mean, we've had it before, haven't we? We've thought we've caught something.
I mean,
and we've gone back, haven't we? And we've took other pictures, and then we said, hang on, that still looks the same as the picture we took.
Yeah, I was showed Scott this earlier, the picture we took it in the Royal Arcade.
Yeah.
It genuinely looks like a guy leaning against the wall looking down like that, yeah. But we went back, we took pictures, and we debunked it. It was just the wall at the end of the hall. You know, it wasn't there. We could have easily put that out there as, you know, oh, look at this figure at the end of the hall. But what's the point? You know, don't get me wrong. There is people out there that genuinely think these photos, they think they've took a paranormal photo and they don't know any different. So they put it out there to, like, for other people's opinions, and that's fine. But it's the ones that know for a fact it's bloody dust. You know, it's like, what are you doing? Or the ones that'll, you'll get people in the chats like circling like 5 faces on it. You're like, no.
I think the best one we seen was, it must have been raining or something, wasn't it? And they said, look at all these.
No, it wasn't. It was under a tree. It was under a tree.
Oh, was it under a tree? Sorry.
Yes.
I knew it was
and
something.
they were like, oh my God, look at all these orbs. And people are like, oh my God, look at the orbs. I'm like, it's pollen. You can see it's coming off the tree. That's pollen. So
we've done it last year. We took a photograph. Laura makes a good point there first. It always debunks everything which could cause paranormal to once that showed that you think paranormal. I mean, we took a photograph in Edinburgh last year, and I think it was Greyfriars. And when we first looked at it, the best way I can describe it, I've told this story before, it looks like a wizard figure, you know, hat, beard, and what have you. Look like an old man. And we put it up in this group, and we says, look, we took this photograph. Don't have a clue what it is, but it looks like an old man. This guy took the photograph, he ripped it apart, and he came back and says, listen, mate, that's a plant pot.
yeah.
And he showed us a photograph. Once he cleaned it up and what have you, he says, that's a plant pot. But she's right, you know, I mean, they put up the page, this is, you know, it was a plant pot we caught. This is, you know, it was done. But we did get one, Robbie, looked at us, we did get one about 3-4 weeks ago. We were at a location at night time, and I took some photographs outside it. I'll send it to you, Nadine. And it was Sarah that noticed it when she was looking at the photographs, and it was a light in the window. So but there's no glass in it. It's an old abandoned building. There's no glass in the windows or nothing. So we put it up on the pages to say we cannot explain this light. And I sent it away to 3 individual people who all came back and says, no, that's paranormal. Now, these people have been in
the face in the woods.
No, this is another one that we got. It says it's no lens flare, it's no reflection. Now, when I took the photos, there was nothing, it was pitch black. And then we put the post up saying we've had this confirmed as paranormal, because I like to send stuff away to individual people and say, look, what do you think?
Yeah.
Of this? You seen this? What do you hear? Come by, and 3 different people confirmed it.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a lot of people look at that shadow figure that we caught. We've showed it to different paranormal investigators and stuff like that, and we showed it to like demonologists and stuff like that. Why would we be stupid enough to show a fake picture to other paranormal investigators? Wouldn't that just be like the most ridiculous thing in the world to do?
You would show it to people who weren't investigators.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. I've showed it to Bob Dylan and Tom, and they said it's weird.
You sent it to a graphics designer as well, didn't you?
Well, no, I didn't send it to him. He was in he was in the group chat, like in the group where this girl was trying to say, "Oh, it's a tree, it's a bush, it's this," and I showed her every single angle of the bar. There's no possible way it is anything in any window. And then this guy just got fed up and he said, "Look, I've been a photographer for 30 years and I'm a graphics designer." And he is, because I checked his Facebook. And he said, it's not fake. He said, it's real. Look at it. It's not edited. It's not photoshopped. It's a real picture. But even then, she was this troll was arguing black is blue, that it's still a bush short stamp. Like I said to you, that shadow figure could have walked up to her, slapped her in the face with a fish, and she'd have still said it was Sam.
So you are going to get people who will not believe it, and no matter what you say, whatever, they still won't believe it. I mean, that picture I sent you, Nadine, with the face, that was taken on a country road, basically, and the face just does not fit in. I send that away, and if I verified, and to be honest with you, I'm not intelligent enough to put 2 photographs. I couldn't even tell you how to do it. To take a photograph, I'd need to draw a picture on it or something. That's the only way I could do it.
Smiley face.
Little stick man.
At least smiley face or something on it. That's the closest I could get to tech.
Or a magazine, cut a bit of magazine out and stick it.
But like I was saying earlier, you always get experts in the comments. Like I said to this one woman, who then called in her flying monkey. When she was losing the argument, she started tagging her friends into it. And one of the women goes, "Oh, she's calling for a flying monkey." So it was howling. But you always get experts. She'd never been investigating in her life. She didn't have any paranormal evidence of her own, but she wanted to rip other people's evidence apart. So why are you in these groups? Why join a paranormal group if all you want to do is pull other people down?
When you don't have a clue yourself because you haven't been out in the field.
Go get some experience, take some photographs, and then maybe give an opinion, but until then, shut the hell up.
Yeah, that's right.
We were there. We know that there was no one there. We who else would know? And I know, people, but this is back to the whole point of people faking stuff, ruining it for everyone else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's with that whisper, I call it the whispering voice. It's one I call. Well, see, it was the first investigation we done there, and we heard this. It turned out the way it worked out, the girls were hearing, the rest of the team were hearing Chapin takes a breath, but I heard this whisper, the woman's whisper right next to me, and we all reacted at the same time, but we later found out that the team were reacting to the take a breath, and I was reacting to the voice. The two of them happened at the exact same time.
Yeah.
But nobody else heard this voice until we played it back on the recording. And I sent it away to different people who ripped it apart and says, "No, that's no through an app. That's right beside you, whoever says that." And we know ourselves. I was sitting myself on that staircase. And you can see with the film that you can see my feet. And then you can see I've got the EMF meter beside me. You can see there's nobody else sitting there. But you're always going to get people again experts
I
are
mean,
going to apart.
I've noticed strange things since I've started investigating as well, though. That like it's in quite a few of the videos. You'll see me repeat what the spirit box has said, or what the app said, or whatever's there said, but no one spoke. But I will swear clear, like it happened. I heard it with my own ears. I heard things say that response with my ears. But when we watched the footage back, the apps or the spirit box or whatever we're using didn't make a noise. So I do hear things with my own ears sometimes.
Do you think that's because, I've got, it's not a theory, but I thought that the more you go investigating, the more you unintentionally open yourself up to
Yeah,
spirit,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
happened with yourself.
I think because obviously, like we were saying, when you first go out, you're really nervous and tense, and you're scared of everything. And then when you become more relaxed, you're obviously becoming more open.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Sam? Do you think you're kind of more open as each investigation goes on?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. As you're going further into it, you tend, and it's like what Nadine said earlier, like your squirrel goes past at first, and things like that. You sort of, well, that's just this, that's just that. But then when you get something that you can't explain, it's like that definitely was that. It wasn't the squirrel that,
Mm-hmm.
And I think you do sort of let your guard down a bit then as you get used to it, don't you? And you get more into the paranormal field,
Yeah.
I think.
Exactly. That's spot on what you say there, Sam. You let your guard down because you become more relaxed. I know
Yeah.
you become more relaxed in your surroundings, whether it's a castle or like the Royal Arcade, wherever it is, you're sitting there, you're doing the investigation. And whereas before you might have been all tense and kind of, looking about, but you're at a stage now where you're just sitting there and it's like riding a bike,
Yeah, that's
basically.
right.
I know it's a bad comparison, but it's the first thing popped into my head.
No, it makes sense though.
Like, riding a bike, you're more used to it. You're still enjoying it. You're still taking it serious. You're still getting, that wee bit of buzz or nervousness, but you're more used to it
Yeah.
than you were. And it's again a couple of word experts. What do you think of these people that come around and say, I'm an expert in the paranormal?
No one is.
No, nobody knows, do they? It's the unknown, isn't it?
No one is.
Nobody can say like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some really good people out there that can see the other side really well, But the thing is, I wouldn't say nobody knows everything about the paranormal.
You could have two groups, one that's investigated for 5 years and one that's investigated for 3 months. And the people who investigate for 3 months have got more evidence than they ever have over the 5 years. So time isn't really a concept, is it? I think it just depends on the people and the environments and stuff like that. But of course, there is people, experts in the fields of like the technologies they're making and stuff like that. Of course, there's experts, but I mean, no one fully understands the paranormal, and no one probably ever will, especially not in our lifetime, understand what the paranormal is, where they come from. I mean, there's so many theories on it. Is it aliens? Is it a different dimension? I've asked a few times on investigations when it says demons, do they think we're the demons? Do they see us as demons? We just don't know how it works. We don't know what they're seeing, what we're seeing. Is it an alternate universe? Is it a different planet? I don't. We just don't know. And no, we're never going to actually know that, I don't think.
No, I always say you never get an expert in the paranormal, but what you will get, which is my opinion, is you'll get people who might have more experience.
Yeah.
I mean, like Mark Edgerton, he's quite close with our channel. He's been at this for 40 years. He was trained by Peter Underwood. He's not an expert, and he's not an expert, but if you put him next to me, he's got tons more experience than I have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that. 100%.
And where I might see something as paranormal, he might say, no, it's no paranormal. I've seen this kind of thing before. That's such and such. Say, right, okay. You know, and to me, it's how we learn as well.
But 3 different paranormal investigators could be in the same room experiencing the same thing and experience totally different things. Yeah, just because someone's been in the field longer doesn't mean they have the authority to say what they're seeing or hearing or experiencing is the right one. You know,
it's not as much like the right, is it? It's like different things can come to different people, can't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you could hear a voice that we absolutely don't hear. You know, does that mean therefore you did not hear the voice?
Well, we as I say, that whispering voice we caught, I was the only one that heard it. And then about a week later, we took another team down to this location just so they could do their own investigation. And I took them down into a room in the basement. Now, there was 4 of them, or 4 or 5 of them, and just me. And I heard a very distinct kind of, it was like a why sort of thing. This was the middle of the afternoon. There was no, and I turned and I looked at everybody and I says, did you hear that? I says, no. I says, you've never heard that. And not one of them heard it, but I heard it quite clearly. Yeah. And there was nobody else about, you know, there was nobody outside or whatever. But none of them heard it. With the whispering voice, everybody heard the intakes of breath, which I never heard. The rest of the team heard that. But I heard the whispering voice at the same time. Yeah. So, as you say, different people can hear different things.
Yeah. And we've made it clear with our team, like you'll notice in a lot, especially Kristen in the videos, because her stomach tends to make a lot of noise. If your stomach grumbles or something happens, say it at the time, that was my stomach. Because when you go back and watch it and you're like, oh, did you hear that? And you can't distinguish between, is that paranormal or is that someone's stomach? Because, you know, some stomach rumbles do sound like growls.
Especially
so we always make sure that people say, look, that was my stomach or that was me moving. Or we try to, like, the best we can.
I mean, especially when we're doing EVPs, don't we? We all stand as still as possible. You know, and if there is any noises, we'll say, won't we? You know, this was just me burping, or this is, you know, just so you can get rid of that. You know, no, it's nothing. It was one of us, you know, burping or whatever, or letting off gas. You know,
I had that when Laura and Sarah done the investigation, and I was listening back to it, and I heard this female whispering, somebody the F word or something. And I was like, you know, I had the earphones on. I was like, what the hell was that? Turned out it was one of the girls that said it, and the phone had picked it up. But it was one of them whispering. But I thought it was maybe another kind of EVP. It's usually my stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Kristen.
But now, like at first, she wouldn't say it was her, but I said no, make it clear that you know that's my stomach, that you know. So we know.
It's something we need. We did start doing it briefly, you know, but we need to start kind of doing it again because sometimes you can't help it. You know, you're full slipping a rock or something, and it makes a noise. Not intentional. Would you find you always pick up more listening back to an investigation than you did at the actual time?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, with that Royal Arcade, with those EVPs and stuff, we totally missed them at the time. You know, there's so much stuff that we've heard that we just don't hear.
It takes the effort needed to fake it, and all there's a lot higher to make it believable than it is to get real evidence.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to fake
my
it.
ex-husband.
All right, okay. Cheers for that, buddy. So you see, Nadine, you hear more back later on.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. We've had loads of stuff, haven't we? After
it's like, how did we miss that? How on earth did you how did we not hear that? But I think at the time you've got so much stimulation going on. Like you're listening out for voices, you're looking out for shadows, you're trying to hear what the spirit box is saying, you're trying to watch for balls flashing. there's just so much stimulation going on. It's really difficult to fully engage your brain in anything you're doing at the time. I don't know if you
Aye.
agree with that.
No, I do, because carry on, Sam.
I mean, I think as well that the spirits can speak really quick as well. You know, when you're actually there, there's that much, like how fast they're communicating sometimes through, you know, through devices, that you go back and you're more relaxed, aren't you? And you watch and you think, I didn't hear that when I was there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, like I said, we've watched stuff back, and I've said, oh, you know, it's it said this when it didn't say anything. So it's the opposite as well, where we've heard stuff with our ears that we've thought have come through the devices.
I mean, it was like one time I heard one in the arcade, and it said DJ, and I did giggle. But then when we went back, didn't we? It said a full name. Obviously, it called me insolent.
That. Yeah. Scott watched that in the video.
Yeah.
It says like Auntie Janet or something like that, and he says you're the DJ because the way it comes through, and then he starts laughing, and everyone starts laughing, and it goes, "You're insolent." You know, that is so intelligent. That is such an intelligent response.
You can't
we're
explain
laughing
that.
at her. Yeah, we're laughing at her saying her name, and it says you're insolent because we're being insolent and rude.
Which we were.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, I know exactly. Jennifer in our American team, she prefers audio to video. And after we did that first investigation at Caldwell, like you say, Luke is up and paging. She came back and she says, "You have got no idea how much you have captured on that recording."
Yeah.
She says, "Turn off your eyes." And so what I did is I put the headphones on. And I just put, I had it plugged into my phone, and I closed my phone, and I just lay there and listened to the sound. And the amount that I picked up on was unbelievable. I think, how did we know? And then I watched the video back when the noises, and none of us are reacting to any of these noises.
Yeah.
Well, how the hell did we not hear that? There's one that goes on for a good 8 or 9 seconds. It's like a mechanical sound. And then there's a ping at the end of it. And you can hear it quite clear on the video, but none of us are reacting to it. It's quite loud.
It's the same on a lot of our videos. Would be the same, where because obviously with the Royal Arcade, I went through and listened to it and tried to edit in what it was saying or what I can only say that in our videos, what I'm putting on the screen is what we're hearing. You might hear something totally different to what we're hearing. It's subjective. 3 people could listen to the same thing and have 3 different answers. That's fine. So I don't want people to think, oh, I'm saying what I'm hearing is 100% right. You could really hear something different to me. But I try to put the writing on the, that's the only editing I really do on our videos is I add the writing in to what we think it's saying, and chop it together. That's all I do. But when you're listening to it back and editing, you do definitely hear it.
It's amazing what you can pick up listening back, and as you say, it's like everything in life. Different people have different outlooks, different views, opinions, etc. Everybody sees things different. Everybody hears things different. So you might hear the word, druid, for example, but someone could hear the word rune. It could be a totally different word, but you all hear something rune about the kind of same time, or you might hear.
People hear in different pitches and tones. So
you might hear a demonic growls, as they call them. What have you? Your ears adjust and your brain filters. Microphones don't as much as that.
Yeah.
Don't as much. That also could be true. But it's amazing what you pick up. So a lot of people talk about demons and what have you. What's your views on the old demonic thing? You hear a lot of teams. No disrespect to them. But also, that was demonic. That was demonic.
We get the word demon through all the time. Like, all the time. It says demon. But do I believe that that's all demons? No. I believe it's spirits trying to scare you. That's what I do. But I do believe in demons, 100%. I do believe they're there. But do we know what they are? Are they ancient creatures? Are they mythical mythical beings? each religion says they're something different. So which one is it? Like Lucifer is originally the light bringer, but in Christianity he's the Satan. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so subjective, religious opinions and environmental, like education and stuff like that you've been through. So demons are different to everyone, but I couldn't say for definite. I mean, I don't really follow. I'm pagan. I don't really follow much for religion, but what demons? There's so many theories on what they are. You know, that are they aliens? They could be aliens. I don't know. No one really knows what they are, but I do feel like spirits say the word demon a lot to try and scare
Mm-hmm.
you. But I think to come into contact with an actual demon, me and Sam have had a few with it. Like the thing in the hotel when I was living in the hotel, that was definitely something very, very dark. Was it a demon? I couldn't say it was a demon because I don't know, but it was definitely trying to scare me. So Sam's had a few things with demonic attachments and stuff like that. We had one, someone from another team try to remove one from him the other day that he said was attached to him. And we do get the name Malik through a lot on the spirit boxes and stuff like that, and Lilith and Beel and Baal, which are all names of demons. But are they actually those, or is it just spirits trying to scare you? I don't know.
That's it. You don't know. What about you, Sam? What's your view on the? Do you think too many people jump on the demon explanation and investigations and stuff? Because you do hear a lot.
You do hear a lot of it, don't you? But I mean, it's like what Nadine said. There's a lot of things, you know, like religion and stuff that tell you this is this and this is that. And I mean, I've had some experience, but I can't really say like it's a demon, you know, as such, because I don't really know. But I've had quite some scary experiences where I've seen certain things and I've heard certain things. You know, I mean, I've heard I can smell human. That scared the life out of me in a really dark voice. You know, which I thought was strange because you wouldn't normally get that from a spirit. I wouldn't have think that you could smell human. You know, that was quite a strange one. You know, that was like something maybe from another realm, or you know, I mean, I'm only speculating. You know, because nobody knows, do they? You know, I can't say for definite. I've been there and I've been down to hell. I've been up to heaven. You can't say, can you?
That's a good word for it. Speculate. That's all we can do. I mean, I believe there is demons, but look, you see, to what extent, you know, is it, you know, fiery imps, or I mean, do they cast out angels?
I do think a lot. Sorry.
No, you go, Nadine.
No, I was going to say that I do think a lot of stuff. I mean, people that do see them and stuff like that. I'm not saying they don't, but I do think people are so quick to jump on that it's paranormal and it's a demon, and they don't look for a natural answer. Like I've said to Sam when he's seen these things, when did you sleep last? You know, how many days have you not slept for when you're seeing and hearing these things? Because you could be having a hypnagogic hallucination. You know, where you fell asleep, but you don't. Your brain hasn't caught up with you, and you fell asleep, so you're seeing things you like in a dream, but you're still awake, so it looks real. You know, I think things can be explained by stuff like that, but I do think there's genuinely stuff. I mean, to what extent they are. So I always ask the question, you know, if someone says, "Oh, well, I've seen something," well, you know, when did you sleep? Are you stressed? You know, those kind of things. Sorry, I kind of went off topic there.
Oh, but you're right, Nadine, because you know, I mean, I've done it myself. You know, you know, I used to love myself, and there was days you'd go 2 or 3 days without sleep, and no, you were trying to deprive yourself, but you just weren't tired. You know, and then you get to the overtired stage, and you still couldn't sleep, and you would start to maybe hallucinate, but you know, you think you've seen something out the corner of your eye or whatever, but you were just absolutely shattered, basically.
Yeah.
You know, Andy's got a comment. I'll stick it up about the.
Yeah.
the
The thing is with that though, Andy, it depends on what religion you're following, which demons are you looking into? You know, are they doing demonology towards Christianity? Are they doing just, you know, uh, are you learning demonology from all religions? I think that really does depend because people could say, "Oh, well, I'm a demonologist," but they've only studied demons under one category. You know, like we joined this online course thing for demonology, and it was all just Christian demons. It was Christians' versions of demons and possessions and stuff like that. It wasn't anything to do with, you know, Greek demons or, you know, Mayans or anything else in the world. It was just basically Christianity. You know, and why are they right? You
I mean,
know,
that
when
course
there's so
wasn't
many things
great.
around the world, there's so many religions, you know.
I mean, that course wasn't great. It was telling you to look at films and stuff, and you know, wasn't it? It wasn't really studying and much about the
No,
demons. It
I
was a bit
think
of
it was
wasn't.
referencing films like
Yeah.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose and stuff like that. It wasn't telling you to watch the films, it was citing like different things to look at. And I think that's just a study. But yeah, I think it really just depends on what you're going to learn as a demonologist.
And like you say, there's so many variants, isn't there? There's so many variants, you know, from different countries, from religion.
Yeah.
You know,
Like some people don't think demons are demons at all, you know.
some people don't believe in them. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same as some people don't believe in, you know, God and, you know, all different kind of stuff. Sometimes I think a demon of it could be is maybe just a grumpy spirit.
Yeah. Well, poltergeist, it means noisy spirit, doesn't it? People think of a poltergeist as like angry, aggressive, anything. Poltergeist literally means noisy spirit. So a spirit making noise. It could be talking. That's noise. It could be knocking stuff. It could be moving stuff. Yeah.
Which, as you say, it's a noisy spirit, but I think everybody has the thing that you're going to get tables flying across the kitchen and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, plates flying out the cupboard, all that kind of stuff with it. You know, and going back to the start of the live, where you were saying about your first experiences. That was your first experience of the paranormal. You know, whereas a lot of people, no offence, would probably think to experience the paranormal, you're going to get the sheets ripped off your bed or your bed's going to levitate. You know, but it can be, you know, it can be little things that happen to you that you maybe not think twice about, you know, but it can be attributed to the paranormal. I mean, for instance, when I was first married, my first marriage, we didn't have mobile phones then, and we had landlines, and I've told this story a few times, but the landline would ring, and I'd be able to tell you who was phoning.
Yeah.
And I used to say to my ex-wife, you know, that's your mum on the phone. And it would freak her out because I was that's your sister.
Yeah.
And she'd say, how do you know who's phoning? And we didn't have caller ID or anything.
No.
How do you know who's phoning? I said, I don't know. And then I started making the joke, you know, it's your mother's ring. You can tell with your bloody mother's ring kind of thing. But it was years later, I was talking to a medium in the Spiritualist Church in Glasgow, and I was telling her, she says, well, that was your kind of first introduction to the paranormal. You have got a certain kind of gift, and that was your kind of first introduction to it. But at the time, I thought, it's a bit weird. I can't explain it, but I just can't, you know, it just went on my life kind of normally sort of thing. You know, but I used to really I loved it. It freaked my first wife out, something bad. And I used to say, that's your mum on the phone. And I was always right, you know. First it was with my dog who I grew up with. She visited me when I was pregnant and alone. Andy's saying, we were lucky enough to chat to Jewel, also the renowned Carl Johnson James. I think any investigator can learn from these two. But Andy did do podcasts with them, so, you know, he's going to his channel, GWG. And you're going to stick the name of your group, and it's all different letters he's got now. And the chat, buddy. So, what about gadgets and stuff? We're talking about gadgets. What's your kind of favourite gadgets? Or
So, speaking of names of groups, we've just put Sundown Paranormal for ours. It's Sundown Paranormal UK. I don't know if there's any other Sundown Paranormals out there, so I shoved UK on the end. Favourite gadget? I like cat balls. I honestly like cat balls. I think you can get so many responses with cat balls.
See, we find with the REM pod seems to take a bit more energy, doesn't it? Like the cat balls are more sensitive, they'll go off. But then we know we get something a bit stronger when the REM pod starts to spike, don't we?
Yeah. We made our own REM pod, so we like not paying that price for them. So we got the circuitry and just soldered it together and made our own little REM pod. So that's my favourite, really, because I made my own little pony.
You're very proud of that.
Yeah, I'm very proud of my little pony. But no, my favourite, I like the cat balls, and I think for communicating, I do like the spirit box.
I like the cat balls. You know, I think you can, because it's basic, it's simple. I like the K2 meter, and I like the laser grid because that's just basic and simple as well. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you can fake stuff." I don't say you can fake stuff with a cat ball.
No.
It's physically got to be touched. That a cat ball's physically got to be touched. Well, not physically, but it's got to move, hasn't it? It's got to move.
And they're solid. You know yourself. I mean, I've rolled them across the grass.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I roll them.
You know, and they've never been off. But a lot of people still try and debunk them. Yeah,
Kristen, I haven't actually put the video up. I should put it on our Facebook page. But she was in Stirling jail. She was having a conversation with the cat balls and in one of the cells, and it went on for ages. But she was moving it around the room and stuff, and it wasn't going off. You know, but then she'd ask certain questions, and it'd go off. The thing is, you can have a cat ball sit there for hours and hours and hours and hours, and nothing happen. But then start asking it questions, and they'll flash.
Aye, exactly. Loz jumped in front of you. She has. I've seen her do that. That's exactly it, Nadine. You know, you can have the cat ball sitting there. You can have the K2 meter sitting there, and nothing happens. I know a lot of people don't put faith in the K2 and the cat balls, but this is how I find them hard to debunk. You can have a K2 meter sitting there for, say, 30 minutes, nothing. You ask a question, and you say, it's happened to us many a time, especially with the series that we've just done. You say, can you make that go to yellow if you're a male? And it'll go to yellow.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's sat for 30 minutes doing bugger all, basically.
Exactly.
And then you say, right, make the lights get back off. And they'll get back off. And you say, right, if you're still here, make it go to yellow again. And back it goes to yellow again. I don't see how you can debunk that.
No.
You know, how you can catch Craig, that's Laura's man, he's part of your team as well. 5 out of 10.
Isn't it amazing what different experiences, like you're saying, mine was tickling of feet and seeing shadows, and Craig's seen a full apparition. You know, everyone's senses and abilities and are different with the paranormal. People can pick up different things.
We're all, I mean, so sometimes I'll pick up, some people call me a sensitive and that, but I don't call myself anything. Because I don't think you should label yourself as a medium or a sensitive, whatever. It's up to the individual if you want to do it. I personally don't. Sometimes I can pick up on somebody beside us or whatever, but then I can go for weeks and not pick up on anything. Same as I can look at some photographs and I can tell you what's happened in that area or whatever. Or I can see something in a photograph, maybe a person standing on a staircase, something like that nobody else is seeing it. but
Yeah.
it's totally random. You know, I don't see it all the time. I can be standing, like for instance, like a few months ago, I was in Tesco and I kept getting the name Isabella in my head. For some reason, this is random Isabella. And I says that to Sarah as well. I said, I keep getting this beep, beep, beep name Isabella. And it's, you know, and it was later on that day, I was in a graveyard, I was meeting friends, and they brought along this other girl I'd never ever met. And they were saying, how's your day been? I said, well, I kept getting this name Isabella in my head all morning in Tesco. And this lassie took and says, Isabella's my gran. I've been trying to get a message from my gran. My gran's passed away, and I've been dying to know that she's okay. And that was my gran's name.
Well, that's amazing.
It's Isabella. And I couldn't explain. I said, well, I don't know anybody called Isabella, and I could not, explain where this name came from. So, it's totally random.
See, I had a similar thing, Andy, when my mum died. My mum died when I was 11, and she died on the Wednesday, like afternoon, about 4:30. And then early hours Thursday morning, I saw her stood in the corner of the room. It's the only time I've ever seen an apparition. It's the only time I've ever seen a full-bodied apparition, and it could have just been hallucination. I'm not saying, I do understand, overactive imagination and you're grieving and all that. But she was wearing this long white gown, and I'd never seen the gown before. And then when we went to see her in the Chapel of the Rest, she was stood in the corner, she was smiling and waving at me. And then when we went to see her in the Chapel of Rest on the Friday, she was wearing that same gown. It was the ones, the funeral parlours have, like, the line into the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only time I've ever seen a full body apparition. But did I dream it? Did my mind put the pieces together and create a false memory? Because that happens too. Your mind is capable of creating false memories, and it's a scary thing. But to me, if you ask me, I would swear down 100% on my daughter's life, I saw my mum that night.
But that's as you say, was it an apparition? Was it not? I mean, that's another question people ask. Have you ever seen a ghost? So how do we know? Because who actually knows what a ghost looks like?
Yeah.
There's that many, you get the old favourite, the sheep, white sheep with the eyes cut out, and then you've got the see-through, person. You've got the full body.
There's always a lady in white.
The lady in grey, lady in white, lady in red, I think it is. So when people say, have you ever seen it? And to me, that's a question you can't actually answer, because how do you know?
I mean, that's why we do what we do, isn't it? We try and find that evidence, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
We try and capture that evidence to try and prove, look, this is a white lady, but it's getting that evidence, it's been at the right place at the right time, isn't it?
But yeah, people could be somewhere and absolutely 100% see something, but it's not what they thought they saw. The brain has put it together and made sense of it. The only way the brain can make sense of it is, it's ghost kind of thing. But if you were to have a video there recording what they've seen, well, I've seen it done. I've seen them do scientific studies and stuff on it where they do stuff like that, and they'll swear blind they saw one thing, but they actually didn't. They saw another thing. Your brain puts it together. It's like these pictures of Nessie when it's logs in the water and stuff like that. Your brain automatically goes to, it's Nessie, it's a ghost,
Aye, because I've seen that, this house is maybe haunted. You picked up stuff in here, but I've seen twice. I've seen something in the hallway. One day I was lying on the bed watching the TV, and I was facing the bedroom door, and it was very, very brief. A split second just went by the door, and then I swapped bedrooms. And the same scenario again, I was lying in the bed watching the telly, something right by the door. really, really quick. And I can only describe it as, I can't describe it as anything actually because it was that fast, but something definitely passed by the door. Whether it was a figure, a shadow, I really get no idea.
I mean, it's
But
interesting, isn't it? You've even changed your rooms and still got the same result, isn't it? I mean, like you say, you even changed rooms and you've still got a similar result to what's happened as well, isn't it? That's, how can,
I can't explain it. See, we've got a caption on the laser. Behind us here is a wall, and done an investigation in here, and with the laser grid against this wall, and we've got a figure. It's very, in real time. It's very, very fast. It's like a split second. Slowed it right down. You can clearly see looks like a figure of a man kind of running. It's on our YouTube channel, and I've had several people. Danny Moss of the Haunted Hunts, he was on, and we showed it to him. And he said, we can't explain. And he says, no, he says, to me, that's paranormal because there's no other explanation for it.
That's it.
And
I always try to look for the natural before the supernatural. I really do. Like the same with debunking stuff. I really do try to look for. I mean, me and Sam have had arguments. Like sometimes, like you're not being logical, Sam. Look at it logically.
Especially when we first started.
Yeah, it could be that. Sam is very quick to jump to the supernatural, whereas I'm very quick to jump to, logic first. Is it natural?
Yeah, it's actually a comment, Andy. Maybe ghosts are bald with glasses. Cheers for that, bud. That will be remembered. I mean, who's got his white apparitions? Who's to say they're not like us human? Exactly. I don't know if you've ever seen the film with Ricky Gervais in it, where he's a dentist and he dies and he comes back and he's told about all these ghosts. It's a comedy basically, but then he's seen them as solid people. Say, well, who's to say that we're, a ghost isn't a solid person?
Yeah. Why do ghosts wear clothes?
Have you ever seen
how do ghosts have clothes? Exactly. Why would they have clothes? It doesn't make sense. In all logic, it doesn't make. If they're just energy, and it's the mass, like, why have they got clothes on? But people see them in clothes.
But then it could be very.
There is a theory that they like to, especially if a relatives say to come back to see you, that they like you to see them as they were. Maybe happy, maybe somebody dies at 85 years old and they'll come back and they'll appear in their 30s. One theory is that when we pass over, we have the capability to get back and look like we did in a happy time in our life, our favourite time in life. Or it's a theory, like everything in the paranormal. We don't know. It's a theory. So maybe that's why they appear, in clothes, because I've never seen a naked ghost.
No.
I've never seen a ghost. I've seen things, but I'll never turn and say I've definitely seen a ghost.
Yeah.
Because I haven't.
That's what I said, like, even with my mum, I don't know if it was just like my brain trying to put together, trying to cope, maybe. It could be. I might have saw my mum, or it might have been my brain trying to cope with the trauma.
Right. And that annoys me as well. I don't know how you guys feel when people say that I've seen this happened to me, I've spoke to such and such, I mean, for instance, Mackenzie, the famous Mackenzie poltergeist, should we say? I've known people say, well, Mackenzie poltergeist talks to me. Right? Really? I've seen the Mackenzie poltergeist. I think, well, really? Have you? Mackenzie, George Mackenzie, singled you out to be his best pal, basically.
And he's just there hanging around the tomb, just waiting for people to chat to him,
Aye, because he's got nothing else to do basically, so he's
No,
sitting in the stairs waiting with somebody
because
popping by, you know.
yeah,
And there's quite a few things about me because I'll just start bitching and that, and you really don't want that. Do you know what I mean? But it's things like that, and you get these people that actually believe it. I think,
I was watching one on oh, what's it called? Unexplained, caught on tape. This woman married a ghost. She married a pirate. This pirate called Jack. This 400-year-old ghost, or something
mhm.
like that. She actually married him, and because she couldn't legally marry him without consent in Ireland, she got on a boat and went out to sea to marry him in the middle of the bloody ocean because that's the only place she can marry this ghost. And it's like,
But she divorced. I think, now memory serves me right. She divorced him because he was
yes,
staying out all.
they got divorced. Yes, I swear they got divorced.
That's crazy.
It just wasn't working out.
No, he just didn't want to come home, didn't he? He's just like, no.
I don't want to laugh at people. I don't want to laugh at people, but
No,
it's
you do,
extreme.
but
It's just
you know,
extreme.
I mean, she always says she can see right through him. Do you know what I
He
mean?
possibly can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he cheat? I think he was staying out all night and going to parties or something. Did you know? He was meant to be cheating on her. But Nadine, I remember that story because it
I
was one
mean,
of these stories. I think, is
there
this
is a
real?
line, isn't there, between the paranormal and the mentally ill.
Well,
There is a
you
line.
know, going off topic, it's like we've watched them. There's one woman who is in love with the Eiffel Tower. She's married the Eiffel Tower. Another
Yeah.
woman's married the ship. One
Well, I
woman
saw
married.
one, a Ferris wheel.
The thing is, I mean, who allows it? I mean, who allows this to marry objects? I mean,
Aye, there's another woman she married. I think it's San Diego train station. I think it's It's an American train station, but no disrespect to these people, but you need to think, where do you draw the line?
can I ask a question about that though? If someone got married to the Eiffel Tower, what happens when she gets divorced? Does she get half the Eiffel Tower?
Well, no, because when you get divorced, you don't get half of your husband. I don't get half of John when the divorce.
No, but I'm saying, is that what they're thinking?
Chop him in half. That's the half's mine.
Is that what they're thinking though? Like,
We have totally digressed.
we have.
But as you say, she married a pirate, and then she divorced him and what have you. And I just don't have any words for it. We can all. I mean, my old flat was haunted. It was haunted by what we assumed was it was a guy, the previous tenant. He passed away in it. He was only a young boy. He had a drink problem, and it was an accident in the flat. But it was like weird things used to happen. Like, I've told this story a few times, but I was a creature of habit in the flat. As soon as I turned the TV off, I put the remote in front of the TV every night, and I loved myself. One morning I got up, couldn't find it, searched everywhere for it, and I found it halfway underneath my double bed in the bedroom. I don't have any explanation for it.
No.
House keys as well. But I always left them in the door and locked. One morning I got up and I found them lying on the coffee table. I'm not saying they floated to the front door of the coffee table. I just can't explain it. One night I was sitting watching TV. I had a thing for Buddhas, and I was kind of OCD with them, and I had them all sitting in an exact position. And I'd come in for work sometimes, and you could tell one had been moved slightly. You could tell it had been moved.
Some of the thing in his flat, his keys always go missing. His car, his wallet, his card. He's like, Sam, where you at? He's like, I can't find my keys, and they'll be gone for hours. Like, just you can't find his keys; they just go missing.
Aye, I mean, a couple of people in work about the TV remote. He says you must have done it yourself. See, well, why would I put my TV remote halfway underneath my bed?
Yeah, we wouldn't.
You just wouldn't. And then one night I was watching the TV and I had a galley kitchen, as they call it. The kitchen ran off the living room, and it was a Saturday night, and the bin lid flew right off, and I lost my temper because I was trying to watch it, and I shouted, "Well, just beep, pack it in. I'm trying to watch the TV." And after that, nothing ever happened in the flat. After I kind of told it off. So,
yeah.
I mean, my point is, we can all get familiar with a certain spirit. I ended up, I would talk to this spirit when I came in for work, tell me about my day, and I'd say cheerio when I was leaving, kind of thing. Folk thought I was nuts, but I thought, it's what I do. But the marrying a spirit and divorcing it, and I don't know.
I think
how that works.
I mean, a lot of stuff can be explained by mental illness now. I mean, like you're saying with demons and stuff, a lot of demonic start brain not working. Possessions, a lot of the word just went new. A lot of demonic possessions now could be explained by epilepsy or schizophrenia or other mental health conditions that we didn't know anything about back then. And I think also a lot with some paranormal stuff. A lot of people have underlying mental illness that they don't even realize they have.
One big example of that is we've covered the Pendle Witch, Pendle Witch Trials quite a wee bit, and when I was device met John Law the peddler, and then seconds later he collapsed at the side of the road. They says that Alice had lamed him, cursed him, but it turned out he took an actual stroke.
Yeah, yes. I didn't know that story. Yeah,
it was just a stroke like he took, but back then nobody knew what a stroke was.
No, but he had all the stroke symptoms. So a lot of stuff could be explained by medicine or illness.
If someone was mentally ill, maybe schizophrenic, they were put down as being possessed or being a witch. And so they were hung.
They're having fits, they're possessed.
But, for them to be alive in this day, they'd be diagnosed with schizophrenia or Alzheimer's or whatever. But back then it was a case of hang them. Sorry, go on, Sam.
Medical science has come a long way now, hasn't it?
And I mean, to me, a lot of it can explain it.
Yeah, like Sam follows like the stories of King Solomon and stuff like that, and his 72 demons or whatever it is. And I'm like, it sounds like the guy had a mental illness and was seeing 72 demons telling him to build whatever they were telling him to build or whatever. If you look at it now from a mental health point of view, he would have probably been diagnosed with some mental health condition. I'm not saying that he didn't see these demons and stuff like that, but I think there's a line. I think it must be very difficult for people that genuinely do see things to not be labeled now as, you're crazy, you're seeing things, you've got a dissociative episode or you're... I got told that by the hospital. I said, look, I'm seeing, shadow figures on a night. They said, oh, it's a hallucination due to trauma. I was like, all my life. What? So I don't know, kind of went off topic and a bit personal there.
No, it's fine, it's totally fine though, but as a lot can be explained. I mean, we don't talk about religion in the Bible, but I always remember one thing always sticks in my head is, the story in the Bible. It's totally unparanormal related, but the Moses part in the Red Sea. I watched a documentary some time ago now, and they actually showed what happened. There's a certain part of the Red Sea that at a certain time of the year.
The tides part. Yeah.
The tides part. It's a natural thing that happens. But obviously back then, this guy's standing there and this sea moves. He did it.
Yeah.
It was, God. But I'm not dissing the Bible, and I believe there is a God, what have you. But my point is that a lot can be explained today.
Yeah.
Like say,
Turning water into wine. Magicians can do that easy.
aye,
I'm not saying that Jesus didn't do it, but a lot of stuff that he did do can now be explained, or a very talented magician could do it.
And they always say, like back then, he was the son of God. But what they didn't tell you is back then, everybody was referred to as it was a common name. Everybody was referred to as the son of God. As I say, I'm not dissing the Bible. I believe there is a God and what have you. Same as everybody else has got their own beliefs. My point is, every coin's got two sides.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like what they say. It's like what they say, as above as below, isn't it? As well, there's a lot of that saying as well.
I don't know where you stand on like the whole like hell on earth thing as well. It's something I'm very interested to ask as a paranormal investigator when I'm out. Is this hell? Are we in hell? Is there a hell? Is there a heaven? But is this hell? Because doesn't it say that hell on earth?
My view is, and I might get shot down for this, again, no disrespect to anybody or believe. My opinion is, and I get told this many, many moons ago, that there's certain, when we pass over, there's certain levels that we can go to. There's a higher level and a lower level. It's no a lake of fire or the rest of it is described. It's just, we make our own hell. If we were a dark person in this life, then we pass over, that's what we end up. We end up in a dark kind of environment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard something about that. I've heard something along them lines. Is it the Kabbalah tree and stuff that someone studied the Kabbalah tree or something that tells you about sort of reincarnation? But I mean, it's only someone's belief. And they said that everyone's got like their own hell and stuff, and once they sort of come over that, they can be reincarnated once they've righted their wrongs. But then if they do it so many times, they can't come back. You get so many chances. It's only someone's opinion.
To bring it back to the paranormal, in that case, could trapped spirits then be spirits that aren't allowed to move on yet?
Rose.
Or maybe getting shown the mistakes. Maybe if they're getting shown the mistakes and they have to stay there.
Speculating now.
No, it's, I don't believe that, there is a heaven up there and a hell down there. With regard to the paranormal, to me, if you're a dark personality here, or an evil person, then that you do carry that with you, and it can be mistaken as demonic,
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. It's one of these subjects. It's hard to explain. Some of the struggles Nadine, I'm a Christian, however, we paranormal investigators are not doing black magic. We are simply using tools available to these to talk to those in the other realm.
Yeah.
That's taking off a lot of point there. I know paranormal investigators are frowned upon. Let's face it, 300-400 years ago, we've probably been burned at stake.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Sure.
For what we would have been seen as witches or warlocks or whatever the term was. But I know that it is kind of frowned upon by the church and what have you, which is, it's their belief, because we're kind of wanting to talk to the dead. What do you think on that? Do you think we should be frowned upon? Or?
Well,
I think everybody's allowed free will, aren't they? Everyone's entitled to free will to do as they choose, aren't they?
I was brought up Catholic, and you literally, worshipping the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So you're worshipping a spirit as well. So how can they then say to look for spirits is wrong?
Aye. It's,
You
I mean,
know,
I was,
kneel at the altar of this spirit, but don't look for your own spirits.
I mean, I was born a Protestant, but I was never a great church goer. I still, I do believe that there is something, whereas who knows. But for the paranormal side, I don't see why people should condemn paranormal investigators or whatever.
No, I
Because
believe in a lot from a lot of different religions. I think there's so many different interesting perspectives out there. So,
that do you not agree that's what makes the paranormal so fascinating as well? Because there's that many strings to the bow, basically.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an open world, isn't it? The paranormal is just an open world, isn't it? It just nobody knows the answers. It's just that big. It's like an abyss. It's.
And we just keep hunting and looking, and it'll probably never be solved. But I mean, we love what we do.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Sitting in graveyards for hours on end in the rain and the wind and stuff. Who doesn't love that?
Yeah, I think it's the people that don't love it, that don't have the passion for it, that do go out and fake stuff.
Aye. And I mean, as I said before we came on the live, that famous photograph a few months ago with the fire extinguishers, I'm not going to name the group, but I'm sure everybody who watches this will remember and know who they were.
Yeah.
Or are. And they tried to pass that off as the twins, something similar to twins for The Shining. Yeah. And it was two fire extinguishers. There's also another well-known team who the guy was caught faking it with fish wire, a ball, and he placed a ball in a stair and he tied wire around the ball. And at this precise moment, they pulled the fish wire and the camera caught it. It caught the wire.
Yeah.
And he was exposed. He's still doing what he does.
We saw a similar thing on quite a famous paranormal show that's, from a proper professional team, where a noose swings, but you can see the line that makes it swing. People spotted it.
There was also a very, very famous show that was on, and I used to watch it. I used to be a fan. I bought the DVDs, I do admit, but then they were exposed as fakes. One of the crew was caught throwing a knife on a bed in 30 East Drive, actually. But what he didn't realise was that somebody was behind him with a camera, and I think the person behind him wasn't aware that the camera was actually recording. And he saw this individual getting into the room, and you could see he was taking something out of his sleeve, and he saw the kind of throwing motion. Yeah. 2 seconds where they all get into the room, and he's with that, oh, whoa, and there's a big knife sitting in the bed.
Yeah. It's like I said earlier about the ones on YouTube that forgot to edit out their retake of them faking it. Kristen knows what I'm on about.
But as when stuff is so blatant, I mean, this same show showed somebody stand, the same individual standing at the top of the stair, and he supposedly get, hauled back by spirit. But you can clearly see there's a rope around his waist.
Yeah. You just think why? You just think why, don't you? Why? Why do it?
Money. That's why.
I know, but then we
don't do this for views. I mean, we're not sponsored. We pay for everything ourselves. We bought all our own stuff. It's not about the money for us because we just enjoy doing it. It's a hobby more than anything.
Yeah.
But people will do anything for money and fame and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then you're shot down in flames when you get caught. You know.
Yeah, but by the time a lot of these have got caught, they're already big enough to have made their money from it anyway. And
Aye,
then they'll have their fan base behind them that'll go, no, it isn't fake. You know,
Yeah, and it causes friction between people that go, "This is fake," and then others like, "No, it's not."
exactly. When it blatantly, when it blatantly is a fake, you know. And I mean, see, we do it because it's a hobby. We do, a lot of people in the do it, you know, the fake stuff to get subs or followers, whatever. And it's not about numbers. But yeah, I like to see. Everybody likes to see their numbers going up.
yeah.
I like to see the numbers go up because it gives me an indication that we're
Of
doing
who's
stuff.
enjoying your stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm not sitting here going, look, I don't want anyone else to subscribe to me or watch my stuff like that. Because of course you do, because it means people are taking notice of your stuff. And they're enjoying what you're putting out there.
I mean, we since day one, you get these groups, whatever, and they say, you know, please go and subscribe. We've got kind of, I'm quite strict about it since day one. We've never asked anybody to sub us, you know, because I like to know that if the amount of subs we've got that because, you know, people wanted to sub to us, basically. I'm not saying, you know, everybody's got their own way of working. This is just their way of working. But
We've
I like
also
to.
sorry.
No, you're going to
We've also noticed that, like, other paranormal teams will make accounts, share other people's stuff out there to build up their subscribers by sharing other people's stuff, and then they can then get their numbers that way, and it's just wrong.
It's just wrong, you know. If you're doing stuff that people are enjoying and people want to follow, that's great. You know, we appreciate every single follower, every single sub we get. But we're doing it because we enjoy doing it. And if other people enjoy watching us doing it, then, you know, that's a bonus.
yeah,
Exactly. I totally agree with you.
yeah.
But unfortunately, there are people out there who are solely sub-driven.
Yeah.
You know, every podcast, you know, I knew one, we knew one last year, and every single podcast, it was sub. And you think, you know, you only need to say it once. You don't need to keep repeating it and repeating it. You know, there's no need for it. If people want to sub you, they will. Simple as that. If they want to follow you, they will. If they don't, it's their choice. But don't ram it down people's throats.
No.
You know, because it's no, you know, it's no the way to do it. That's not what we're about, and that's not what genuine teams are about. You know, we're doing it because
we're not like a market stall where we try to sell apples or something. We're not like, try to shout, buy this for £1. You know, it's.
I mean, but the other end of that is, hey, okay, you get 1 million subscribers. Now it's your job. Now you have to do it, not when you want to do it, because you have to do it because it's now your job and that's your income. So you're not doing investigations because you genuinely want to go and do an investigation. You're doing it because
you're doing it for the passion of it.
Yeah.
You know.
It takes that, just by one side, it takes that passion away. It takes that free will away. You know, I mean, there's nights we've planned investigations, say, oh, right, we'll go on Friday night. Come Friday morning, you think,
yeah, we did that last week, was it? It was just like, we're just not feeling it, you know. I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
As you say, Nadine, or it could be pouring rain. We done an investigation on Friday and it started off dry. About 10, 15 minutes later, it started bucketing down, so we scrapped it. We weren't getting evidence, but we scrapped it. But as you say, Nadine, if you get all these subs, it becomes a job. You need to stand there in the rain. You need to get up and go and do, you know, that investigation tonight that you cannot be annoyed doing. But you need to go and do it. And it just takes the whole fun out of it, basically. I think I would be very happy having a paranormal job. We should agree with, just for those who haven't heard of us, won't beg for follows, we've gone up massively and down. But Andy and Kirsty, they have done amazing. They started a group about a year ago, I think, Andy. I'll probably get my dates wrong, but they've done, and Andy says we've known them for quite a few months. Excuse me, they've never begged for followers as well, and they have done really, really well.
Yeah. But like we were saying earlier, we don't have any backing. We don't have anyone, helping us out with anything like that. It is literally just us. Well, it's just me doing all the social media.
So I do 10 months. Sorry, Andy, I said a year. 10 months. There we go. I was 2 months short. But that's it. We do all. Sarah does all the editing and what have you. I kind of look after the Facebook page and come up with ideas, and the team all, they come up with ideas as well. But we don't get paid for it. We don't get praise for it. We don't expect praise or paid for it. Well, there's a wee bit of praise there, actually. Thank you very much, Andy.
I mean, it's been about 10 months for us as well since we started like putting stuff on YouTube. I don't think it was. It might have been November. I'm not sure. 10 or 11 or 12 months. We've been doing it a year, but we didn't start putting stuff up till after.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we are a year past in July. We kind of started at the wrong time because we started it and then we done a couple of investigations and then with restrictions came in because of the circumstances.
Yeah.
And that's how
we started during lockdown and then we went into full lockdown, and so I mean, of actually being able to investigate, it's only literally been a few months so we've actually been able to investigate properly. I mean, the other stuff was just going on walks to like Abbey or something like that. Well, there's nothing wrong with. We get some brilliant stuff at Abbeys and stuff like that, but
I mean, you're limited to what you can do. So that because and then we thought, what we do with the channel, we're not allowed to go anywhere. So that's how we ended up doing the interview kind of road, and it's worked really, really well for us,
That's a really good idea.
But then they lifted the travel ban here a few months ago, and we've been out quite a bit. And the day they lifted the travel ban, because we done a lot of our early stuff was in Edinburgh. We swapped Edinburgh basically, and the day after they lifted the ban, we were in the car. It was like a family day. It was like we were going on holiday, I mean, we've been to Edinburgh dozens of times, but we were buzzing because we could get out and go to Edinburgh again. We could leave town, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And we can leave town. We can go over the border. We can pass Glasgow, thing.
When we went to Edinburgh Vaults, we went up, and you weren't in lockdown, but everything closed at 10 o'clock, and we went all the way to Edinburgh. We're like, oh, let's go out for a few drinks, and they were like, oh, close at 10.
Aye.
What?
That's it. That's it. The place was just totally dead. But the night we went to Edinburgh, Edinburgh must have been out in Edinburgh, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
The streets were absolutely mobbed. I don't know the time the pubs were shut it, but the streets were mobbed. It was like Christmas. But everybody was the same, throughout the UK, throughout the world. We were on the same boat kind of thing. Wasn't everybody's fault, but it was just like a mass release. And so we've been out, same as yourselves. It's just the past 2 or 3 months, maybe we've been able to get back out and get sort of investigations done.
Yeah.
Let's just hope nothing else happens. But I think we'll wind up there now, folks. Usually we just run for about an hour and 15 minutes, but that's 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is what I was saying before the live, but because it's just a casual chat. I mean, I've watched some I've watched some channels recently and it's very formal and all the rest of it, but you know, we're Scottish, we don't do formal.
No.
And it's amazing how it just kind of flows. But I'll keep a hold of the two of you just after we come off the live, if that's all right. But just to everybody in the chat, thanks for coming in tonight, folks. I hope you enjoyed listening to Nadine and Sam. You will be seeing them again. Night, Kathy.
Good
night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
We have to take Nadine to. This is to Pink's.
Oh yeah, I told Kathy that you wanted to go to Pink Punt, take me to Pink Punters. So Kathy's saying we're gonna have to do it.
Okay.
Great listening, Chad. You look forward to seeing your stuff. Before we go, just give your Sundown Paranormal plug. Sorry, Nadine and Sam. I'd like to plug your group before we go.
It's Sundown Paranormal UK. So.
And they're on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, we're on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, YouTube, TikTok, Clapper, and it? Or maybe it. Yeah. We post most of our stuff on our Facebook page. We've got a community page as well, which is a group page, but our actual page has our logo on it. We share most of our stuff there, but I try to do condensed videos into 3 minutes for Clapper and TikTok, just little highlights. But like I said, you can't. Everything that happened at the arcade, I couldn't fit into a 3 minute video. There's no way. We post our full videos on our YouTube at Sundown Paranormal UK.
So give them a wee look, folks. A wee follow. A wee
thank you.
Whatever. You know, go and have a look at their stuff. And thanks everybody came in. We're back live on Thursday night. I'll be our first live on the new Things Network, where we have the Midnight Gypsies coming in. So that's 9 o'clock on Thursday night, which we're really looking forward to. So take care till then, folks, and we'll see you soon. Bye.